Hello, class. My computer shut down on me, but I don't think it was just my computer because the math instructor across the hall, he experienced the same thing at the same time. So perhaps the OCC system is on overload and things happened. I didn't notice exactly when it was off or how long for. So let me just put up this last page and I will hold it here for a minute or so and you can fill in any pieces that you did not get. And then I will pick up from there and we need to finish 13.1. As I said, it's a huge section, a lot of material, and it would have been nice if it had been broken up into two different sections because the ideas go from really quite easy to quite involved. So I'm just going to slide this up a little bit to allow anybody who um, wants to see it. And also remember, my notes are always going to be posted on D2L. Okay? But I haven't had a chance to get them all in yet because it's important for me to get the lectures done um, because I don't have any of this equipment at home. This program is called Visualizer, and I don't have this at home at all. And nobody does. So let's look, and I said to notice here, we had to find our GCF. 19 goes into 38. I divided, and this was my factor. So factoring is huge in all math. It's huge in all math. Okay, so there's a few things we've done in 1050 that we won't be doing that much of in the future, but you can't get through mathematics without knowing how to factor backward and forward. Okay, so that was number 54. Um, and then I was just about to say, let's do number 60, and I think my computer shut down. So I don't think you missed much. I'm picking it up here, and thank goodness I was able to save the first part of the video, which is probably an hour and a half. So let's look at this. We have 125a cubed z to the 5 plus 60a to the 4 z to the 4 minus 85a to the 5z squared. Okay? And we're looking for a GCF. Well, we see that 5 divides 125, and 5 divides all of these as well. So I'm going to choose 5 here, and then I can pick the lowest exponent appearing. I have 3, 4, 5, so I can only pick 3. On the Z, I have 5, 4, 2, I can pick the 2. So now what your job is 125a cubed z to the 5 over 5a cubed z squared, and that's going to give me 25. 5 minus 2 is 3. And then I have 60a to the 4 z to the 4 over 5a cubed z squared. I need a sign, so I need that sign. I have a 12. 4 minus 3 is a to the 1 and z squared. And then negative 85, a to the 5 z squared. And then I have 5a cubed z squared. I'm going to choose numbers that you don't have to plug into your calculator because this will just get too time consuming on the exam. So this is going to go 17 times. I need a sign, which is negative. I have 17. 5 minus 3 is 2, and the z squareds cancel out. So this would probably be in the area of the most involved that I would even, uh, you know, ask you to do. So looking at questions, um, let's see, we needed these questions here, which were 61 through 66. We need these questions, very much so, because it's going to take us into the next category here. So on 62, we have r left paren 5 minus x plus t left paren 5 minus x. So this is what I call the like term, because it's here and here. So I have 5 minus x. That's the like term. I want to know how many do I have. Well, here I have r of them, and here I have t of them. So this is leading us into a next idea. The book, more than likely, is going to have theirs in the opposite order. They put their like term first, and they put how many second. So this is correct, 100% correct. This is 100% correct. I always do like, and then in front of it I do how many. It's your call, whatever way you choose to do that. So looking then at 64, I have 3x left paren x squared plus 5 minus y x squared plus 5. So yes, I have a like quantity. I'm going to write down my like quantity. I need to know how many do I have. I have 3x here. I need the sign minus y of them here. Okay? Do not multiply all this out. If you multiply that out, you're just going to get a big mess. You want to group these this way. This is the like term, and we're pulling out the common ones. Okay? So looking back, I can grab a few more of those problems like that, probably on page, no, let me see if he has any little examples for us to do. Yes, he does. He does on page 914, where we have 5b. And we have x left paren x plus 2 plus 7 left paren x plus 2. So these are, if they're not the same, if this is x plus 2 and this is x plus 3, forget it. They have to be exactly the same. So if you want to do it the way the book does, you're going to put the like quantity first. How many do you have? You're going to do second like that. And I have this going here. For C, we have y squared times y plus 2 minus 3 left paren y plus 2. Yes, I have like quantity y plus 2. So this is the book notation. Whoops, let me bring it down. Book notation. And I prefer this, but this is me. Okay, that's the book. Super. So I'm doing the book notation so that you don't get confused. I'm putting the like term first, and then I have y squared minus 3 second. Okay? So let's look. This section is just truly overload. Let's look on page 919 and see what other ones we need to look at here? Oh, yes. What we need to do is we need to actually get to that point on our own. So I am going to look at page 915 first. Going back to page 915. Look at this. 6b. We have 2xy plus 3y plus 2x plus 3. And this is called factor by grouping. Factor by grouping. So when we factor by grouping, you're going to look at this third sign here. You're going to look. If it's positive, we can put in these parentheses and not worry about any sign changes at all. Okay? And ours was positive. So I look in parenthesis 1, my common factor is y, and I have 2x plus 3. And I'm saying, well, wow, this one and this, they are like. So I'm going to put my like quantity first. How many do I have? And I have y of them here, and this coefficient here is a 1. It's understood to be a 1. So this is your final answer, and it's called factoring by grouping. So it is important that we understand that. Okay, sticking on page 915, we have 2a squared minus 4a plus 3ab minus 6b. So we look here, this is positive, so I'm going to group the first two, and I'm going to group the second two. Okay, I was able to do that because this was positive. So look in the first two, I'm going to pull out the 2a. Look in the second two, I can pull out the 3b. I'm left with a minus 2. Because remember, when we factor is a division process. Now my goal was to get a like quantity, which I did. I got a minus 2. How many of them do I have? I have 2a here, and I have plus 3b here. Okay? It's a little bit, it's different from anything you've ever done. So we have to, you have to redo some of my examples. You have to do the examples in the book so that you're able to do these. Okay? So there we go here. Okay. So let's look at D. D has a twist in it. Okay, D has a twist in it. Okay, and what is the twist? The twist is the third sign is negative. If the third sign is negative, we now have trouble. What does that mean? It means this. I'm going to rewrite it now. What does that mean? It means that we can group the first two. We can group the first two like this. But then I see that I can't just throw in my parentheses. I cannot throw in my parentheses. So I'm going to factor out the minus sign. Factor out the minus sign. And when I factor out the minus sign, this is what's going on. Minus 5x over negative 1 is positive 5x. Minus 15 over negative 1 is 15. Okay? So this is huge, a huge idea. You can't just throw the negative signs in. You have to factor out the minus sign here. So now look in parenthesis 1. What is common here is the x squared, and I'm left with x plus 3. Now, I have to get an x plus 3 out of here. I have to. If I don't, I have something wrong. So I can factor out the 5. 5 into 5x goes x. 5 into 15 goes 3. And I have this. So yes, I have like quantities. Okay? So now I have x plus 3, which is like, and I have x squared minus 5, which tells me how many I have. Okay? So you want to redo this whole problem and understand about factoring out the minus 1. Okay? So let's look. I need to do one more like that because that's a really big idea, is a negative factor like that. And on page 919, let me see if I found one. 80. Page 919, number 80. And we have 2b squared plus 3b minus 8ab minus 12a. So I'm looking here, and I see that this is going to give me trouble. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to group 2b squared plus 3b. I'm going to factor out that. Remember, a minus sign means opposite. The opposite of negative is positive. The opposite of negative is positive. Are you with me, everybody? Okay? So now in parenthesis 1, I can pull out only a b, and I'm left with 2b plus 3. Bring down your minus sign. What can I factor out here? Well, I shouldn't have written my parenthesis there yet. So let me redo that so you can see what's going on. So minus. So let's look. What I can factor out here, the number that divides 8 and 12 is 4. I have an a here and an a here. Okay? So what I'm left with is 8ab over 4a, and I get 2b. Okay, that matches up. And then I have 12a over 4a, which gives me 3, and that matches up. So now I have 2b plus 3, which is my like. How many do I have? I have b minus 4a of them. Okay? So I gave you 2 examples. That's not probably for negative signs. I need one more. Let's look at 86. 10x cubed plus 15x squared minus 8x minus 12. So this tells me trouble. I'm going to have 10x cubed plus 15x squared. I'm going to factor out the minus sign. Remember, that means opposite. The number that divides 8 and 12 evenly is 4. That's all I have. I don't have an x. So 8x over 4 gives me 2x, and minus 12 over 4, it's actually minus 4, I should be perfectly correct on that, is positive 3, okay? So we had to have that minus sign. Minus times a positive, minus times a positive. So in parenthesis 1, I can factor out 5x squared, and I'm left with 2x plus 3. So I have this, which is like, and that's 2x plus 3. How many do I have? And I have 5x squared minus 4 of them. Okay? So we did a lot of work on this lecture here. You know, we did this lecture. Now this one, because of my computer shutting down on me, you're going to look, it's going to be 10:50 April 20th of 2020, and I said part 1 was the part before the shutoff. And this one will be 10:50 April 20th of 2020, and it will be part 2, and this will be after the shutoff. Okay? So, there you go. It was a huge amount in section 13.1. I hope you can watch that a couple times. Okay? And I will be back shortly and give you the next one. Bye now. Stay safe, folks.